something a little bit different today. I've taken a snippet out of one of my old lessons from about 4 years ago, back in 2015, when I started my character awareness workshops. I made some presentations. The original one goes for about half an hour, 40 minutes, so I've just cut it down to the main segments. If you want to know the complete section about all the individual fingers, it's all in the book. You can get it, Destiny Palmistry Character Awareness from Amazon. So it's all in there. But anyway, this is just something different. Like I said, it is a video I made from a presentation. So it's a little bit different to what you're used to. It's a little bit robotic because I'm reading what's in the slides. But anyway, it's good learning for you. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you soon. Bye. So you have, like in this image, 1, 2, 3, the top, middle and base phalange. So these segments of the fingers are separated by the crease marks. They can vary in size, and depending on their length and thickness, they can reveal strengths or weaknesses in the area that they represent. In order to recognize a short, thin or thick phalange, you can compare them with each other, the first, second and third. If all the phalanges are equal, whether they are short or long, then they're not particularly remarkable. It shows the balance of the mind and body. So here you have the first area, which represents psychic intuition, receiving and expressing, mental energy and sensitivity. The middle section represents mental capacity, logic, judgment and reasoning. And the third section represents the physical energy, materiality and personal style. The top phalanges are normally slightly shorter than the middle and lower ones, as you can see in this picture. That is not really classed as short because that's average for it to be slightly shorter. The top phalange represents the area of your mind in respect to psychic intuition and spirit, your character and how much enthusiasm you have for things in general, how you observe the things in your mind and how sensitive your perception is. So if all the top phalanges are long compared to the middle and lower ones, the intellect from an intuitive perspective will play a large role in the way of thinking. So what that means is they are likely to be intuitive and they use their instinct in their decision making. If they're full and fleshy fingertips compared to the other phalanges, this will give perfectionist tendencies. When all the top phalanges appear extremely fat or bulbous, it describes someone who wants to know everything. These people will also be quite pushy or interfering when it may not be necessary. But on the other aspect of this feature is they are energetic and hardworking. They're perhaps rather good with their hands. When the fleshy tips are spatulate, it shows an independent and somewhat restless character, but with obsessive inclinations. They can see the big picture, so do make excellent craftsmen, engineers or sportsmen. If the top phalanges are thin, like in that picture there, much of what they perceive is dreamlike. They have a sensitive, idealistic and somewhat mystical nature and are quite fussy in all tastes. They are the romantic types. Now, because it is the top phalange, these meanings are pretty much the same as fingertip shapes that we discussed in an earlier lesson. So when they are thin, they can be unrealistic or have a disinterest in society. They may also appear eccentric, like the woman with 20 cats. So the narrow top phalanges can also point to a lack of energy, especially if the tips are soft. So they will prefer to delegate work to others. The narrow tip shows that the mind is instinctive and sharp, summing up situations fast. They could well be psychic, but with this sharpness, you might find that they're argumentative because of their lack of being able to see the whole picture. The thin pointed tips also might suggest that they are quite concerned about their appearances and will get offended easily. Talking about the middle section now, the second phalanges. So the middle phalanges characterize the region of mental capacity and how much strength is in the area of practical thought and logic, putting ideas into action. So the top one was about ideas, this is more about the action. When all the fingers have long middle phalanges compared to the others, the person will be super efficient and very active in general. It kind of represents intelligence, or how much they like to use their mind. They'll be confident, determined, intelligent, and business-minded. They often have a great attention to detail, directed into the academics or the arts. These people will enjoy study or research, and so will often have an extensive collection of books. When the middle phalanges appear shorter than average, the mind or the attitude may be somewhat laid back, with a lack of interest in mental pursuits. They tend to be disorganized and impractical as well. So ideally, the middle phalanges should be equal or longer. The short middle phalanges are not very nice. Now the middle finger, the Saturn. Saturn is all about responsibility and the law. So if Saturn finger has a long middle section, it is a sign of a natural investigator, a leader and decision maker. Mentally, they will take things very seriously and they will have superior self-control. A short middle phalange on Saturn is not a splendid sign, as it depicts someone who lacks leadership skills and has no particular interest in any science, like a lazy mind. Talking about the third phalanges now, which is the base of the finger, which refers to the material world, including physical energy, love, sensuality, appearances, money, possessions, basic needs and urges. When all of the base phalanges are long, there will be a valuable amount of physical energy and a lot of importance placed on looks in all aspects. And what I mean by looks in all aspects is not just your physical appearance, but your surroundings, how your house looks and how your car looks, how your desk is, and everything has to be just right. If they are also thick, it indicates sensuality. It also denotes someone somewhat indolent, materialistic or selfish. They may be spoilt by luxuries.